Hey, what's going on, guys? It's No Shoes, and we're back with another one. And today we're going to be reacting to In the Ghetto from Eric B. and Rakim. This is suggested by Adisu Dempsey. So thank you, Dempsey, for the suggestion. Keep them coming in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, and hit that bell if you want to see more videos like this. But without any further ado, let's get right into it. Let's see what Eric B. and Rakim got for us. Let's see what In the Ghetto is all about. Let's get it.
Nobody smiling.
Okay.
Nobody smiling. Nobody smiling. Nobody smiling. Nobody smiling. Nobody smiling.
Okay. Nice feel to it. Nice energy. Record scratches are great, bringing in that DJ feel to the track. The little bit of ad libs in the background with the background vocals as well pair well together. Drums got a nice feel to them. See where it takes us.
Nobody smiling. Nobody smiling. Nobody smiling.
Planet Earth was my place of birth, born to be the sole controller of the universe. Besides the part of the map I hit first, any environment I can adapt. When it gets worse, the rough gets going, the going gets rough. When I start flowing, the mic might bust. The next day to shake from the power I generate. People in Cali used to think it was earthquakes, cause times is hard
Okay.
over Boulevard.
Nice. Kind of a slow start for Rakim, but I'm sure we'll start to press a little harder on the gas as the track goes on. Got a great old school feel to it, which is fitting. What other type of energy would you expect it to have? He has one bar here that really caught my attention, really two bars, where he says, when the rough gets going, the going gets rough, or maybe he flips that around, but either way, flipping that phrase, getting two slightly different meanings out of it. That's a nice play right there, and it's a common figure of speech, which I'm a big fan of bending those. But nice feel so far. Let's see where it goes from here.
Going, the going gets
And I think I jumped us up a little
I
bit.
can adapt. When it gets worse, the rough gets going, the going gets rough. When I start flowing, the mic might bust. The next day to shake from the power I generate. People in Cali used to think it was earthquakes, cause times is hard on the boulevard. So I guard and never get scarred. I'm guard, but it seems like I'm locked in hell. Looking over the edge, but the R never fell. A trip to slip, cause my Nikes got grip. Stand on my own 2 feet and come equipped any stage.
Locked in hell, but the R never fell. I think in that he's referencing himself as the R. He is still, the God MC up in heaven, never fell from the heights. Also, could be a slight reference to, Icarus flew too close to the sun, something like that.
I grip, stand on my own 2 feet and come equipped any stage I'm seen on. A mic I fiend on. I stand alone and need nothing to lean on. Going for self with a long
That's great. I stand alone, need nothing to lean on. That's nice. Just standing straight up, don't need no support, nothing like that.
stand alone and need nothing to lean on. Going for self with a long way to go. So much to say, but I still flow slow. I come correct and I won't look back, cause it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. Even the
And he actually addressed it. I still flow slow. So maybe there will be change, or maybe this track is more an exercise in that slow flow and showing that even slow, his bars are still dope. It's working well. The one thing about the production is that, and I know everybody's gonna scream at me because apparently you cannot criticize Rakim or you're just a piece of trash according to y'all people. But real artists respect criticism, and the one thing to me is that this flow he's using, it feels almost like a whisper flow with the volume level he's at over top of the beat, and with Rakim's voice being bassy and then having those thick drums underneath it, there's just a little bit of mixing happening. It's super tiny, just on the edges. It's not even getting like muddy yet, but there's just a couple points throughout the verse where his voice kind of blends into that drum slightly. And I think pulling his voice up and away from those drums a little bit more would really help accentuate him. It would maintain a similar feel to what it has already, and it just feel a little bit crispier. But that's, very slight adjustments.
I come correct and I won't look back, cause it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. Even the
Nobody's smiling. Nobody's smiling. Nobody's
I learn to
smiling.
relax in my room and escape from New York and return through the wound of the world as a thought. Thinking how hard it was to be born. Me being queen with no physical form. Millions of cells with one destination to reach the best part. It's life's creation. 9 months later, a job well done. Make way, cause here I come. Since I made it this far, can't stop.
And he's moving very quick between rhyme schemes too. But because this has a much more conversational feel, it works well with the transitions to, go like two bars at a time per scheme and just keep rolling. It feels more like he's telling a story in a sense.
Cause here I come. Since I made it this far, can't stop now. There's a will and a way, and I got the know-how to be all I can be and more. And see all there is to see before I'm called to go back to the essence.
And a little bit of nice, like slight bouncing around, just a slight bit of syncopation. Nothing super overt, but some good variance to his flows across this while still maintaining a consistent feel.
All I can be and more. And see all there is to see before I'm called to go back to the essence. It's a lot to learn, so I study my lessons. I thought the ghetto was the worst that can happen to me. I'm glad I listened when my father was rapping to me, cause back in the days they lived in caves, exiled from the original man and strayed away. Now that's what I call hard times. I'd rather be here to exercise the mind than not.
And it's interesting. I wish I'd listened when my dad was rapping to me, talking about back in the day they lived in caves and this, that, and the other. And the imagery, the storytelling there is cool, but also reminds me of, I feel like all of us, our parents have had a story at one point. Oh yeah, I used to walk to school uphill both ways in the snow in the summer, wearing short shorts and boxes on my feet, or whatever the embellished stories are. And while I'm not sure that's exactly where Rakim is going with this, that linkage is interesting.
I'd rather be here to exercise the mind than I take a thought around the world twice. From knowledge to born back to knowledge precise. Across the desert that's hot as the Arabian, but they couldn't cave me in, cause I'm the Asian. Reaching for the city of Mecca, visit Medina. Visions of Nefertiti, then I seen her. Mind keeps traveling. I'll be back after I stop and think about the brothers and sisters in Africa. Return the thought through the eye of a needle. For miles I fought.
Yeah, so talking about traveling around the world with the thought, then taking that to Africa. Nefertiti, I believe, was some type of pharaoh. I can't exactly remember, but I know I heard that name in like a History Channel special at some point. Nice references. Again, cool, mellow feel. The instrumental is super simple, but it works well. There's like a very slight melody just kind of coming in like dum dum dum, just barely there in the background, adding a little bit of flavor, the little bit of like salt and pepper that just adds that extra little oomph to it.
Turn the thought through the eye of a needle. For miles I fought and I just brought the people under the dark skies on the dark side. Not only there, but right.
And then it feels like we got a bass line that almost follows along with the drum pattern somewhat, where it'll kind of hit with the first kick and then walk its way down like dum 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 dum. And again, that little extra bit, if you're not looking for it, you barely even notice it, but it adds that flavor.
For miles I fought and I just brought the people under the dark skies on the dark side. Not only there, but right here's an apartheid. So now is the time for us to react. Take a trip through the mind, and when you get back, understand your third eye seen all of that. It ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. Even the
Something about your third eye, seeing all of that, just I'm a big fan of that. Definitely got big into like, the crystals and everything at one point and the mantras and all that. Like that reference a lot. You got to open up your mind, man.
Third, I seen all of that. It ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. Even
Mm.
though,
Nobody smiling. Nobody smiling.
even though,
Nobody smiling. Nobody smiling. Nobody smiling. Nobody smiling.
Cool.
No, 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 no,
Yeah. Very much just a chill track. Like, especially with these long, almost wide open, like, I'd call them a hook section based off the fact that they repeat, but they almost feel more like a break section in that the vocals that come across during it are very much background elements. Obviously, we got the nobody smiling at the bottom. And then up above that, we have this sounds like a female vocal, maybe a sample they took from somewhere, maybe some unnamed feature that sang on the track. Definitely not in the credits. So maybe a sample. Regardless, it's a nice addition, but it feels very open and just like, maybe you riding around late at night, you chilling, you don't need anything crazy playing, you just need a little bit of that noise going on, something to just kind of tickle your brain while you're rolling around.
no, 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 nobody smiling. Nobody smiling.
no more props, I want property in every borough. Nobody stopping me because I'm thorough. Rhyme
I like that. No more props, I want property. Instead of giving them props like, "Hey, what's up, man? You doing great." Like, give me something real. Give me property. Give me my money. What is it? Let me have it. That's an interesting twist there.
in every borough. Nobody stopping me because I'm thorough. Rhymes I make, give me real estate for me to own. Wherever I bless a microphone, 007 is back and relaxing, on point and reacting and ready for action. I'm so low key that you might not see me. Incognito and taking it easy. Why just kept on a hush hush in front.
Low key, you might not see me. Incognito, taking it easy. See me easy. That's a great rhyme there. Again, he marks a great transition where we start having these compound rhymes, larger multi-syllable words, or joining smaller, single or maybe two syllable words together to create a larger rhyme. And it works very well. Earlier he hits one bar where we have creation and then we go to destination, and just so many different examples of that in his music. But great work.
Incognito and taking it easy. Why just kept on a hush hush in front of a crowd. I get loud as a bum rush, but calm. Keep a low pro and play the background. Hoping the whack rapper put the mic back down. So rip it, break it in half. Go ahead and slam it. Cause when it's time to build, I'm a mechanical bonding, amending, attaching and blending. So many solos, there is no ending. People in my neighborhood, they know I'm good. From London to Hollywood, wherever I stood. Footprints remain on stage ever since. Sidewalks and streets, I leave fossils and dents. When I had sex, I left my name on next. My trademark.
Yeah. Nice, man. And then the pairing of from the neighborhood to Hollywood, talking about it's not where you're from, it's where you're at. Very cool track in that sense. And then it feels like we're getting a little bit of a change up coming here. So let's hear that.
They know I'm good. From London to Hollywood, wherever I stood. Footprints remain on stage ever since. Sidewalks and streets, I leave fossils and dents. When I had sex, I left my name on next. My trademark was left throughout the projects. I used to get rich when I played CeeLo. When I roll 4, 5, 6, they go Guido. So I collect my cash.
Yeah, and for a second there's just something different. It feels like the drums almost become bare and that like bass line and that little like maybe piano. It could be a bunch of different things, but I'll go with piano for now, but that little melody and that little bass line feels like we get them dropped out for a second, really lets the drums and Rakim's voice shine. And then pretty soon after, they do come right back in. So maybe that's just my bias or whatever, but great feel to it. Very well constructed track. Mine is like the very small adjustment I was thinking you could do with maybe bumping the vocal up like a decibel or two, just to get the voice a little bit further away from the actual drums and everything. But great feel to it.
Guido, so I collect my cash and slide. I got my back, my guns on my side. It shouldn't have to be like that. I guess it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. Even though
Nobody smiling. Nobody smiling.
I'm from the
Nobody smiling. Nobody smiling. Nobody smiling. Nobody smiling. Nobody smiling.
Oh man. Nice little fade out here at the end. And then it just cuts. That works well. I'm really a fan of the it's not where you're from, it's where you at, kind of, disregarding like what were the circumstances of, your inception into this world, and then, separating that from, okay, well, that was, however long ago, 26 years in my case. Where have you come from that? Where have you gone? And what have you learned in that time? Regardless, that was In the Ghetto from Eric B. and Rakim. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I hope y'all did as well. Thank you again to Adisu Dempsey for the suggestion. Keep them coming in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, and hit that bell if you want to see more videos like this. Much love to everybody in the No Shoes gang, and I will see you all next time.